Hey guys, my name is Manish Arora. Welcome to Urban Acharya. I'm going to share a very interesting story with all of you today. A few years back, I was conducting interviews to hire and close one of the open positions in my team. It was a relatively junior position, but a critical one. So I was looking for a candidate who could perform a role of an analyst, has got roughly 3 to 4 years of experience, good in articulation, and can work with tough stakeholders. That was my ask. So let me tell you that we did hire and close that open position, but there was one interview that I had conducted at that point in time with one of the candidates, and the memory of that interview has still stayed with me. And the reason why it has stayed with me is because there were a few lessons that came out of it. And that's what I'm going to share with all of you in this video. So this interview started pretty well. The candidate came and sat across me in my cabin, and I started with a very simple question. Introduce yourself or walk me through your profile. He was very articulative. He gave the right answer. He took roughly 120 seconds to answer that question, and he was very succinct in his approach, very articulative. I was very impressed in the first few minutes with him. And then the interview started going on well. I asked him questions about his experience, about his knowledge, about his understanding of the process, about his skill sets, and all of them were pretty bang on. So he was doing pretty well with me in the interview. And 15 minutes in the interview, we were very comfortable with each other. But after 15 minutes, when I was looking at his CV, I saw on the second page his hobby he had written, reading. Now just one word, reading. And my next question was, what are your hobbies and interests? What is your favorite pastime? Before I tell you what he answered, let me tell you that I myself am an author and I'm very heavily into reading. And when I saw that reading in his CV, I was pretty excited because that was a common thread between us. So I asked him, what is your favorite pastime? He said reading. He blurted out reading. And then my next question to him was, who is your favorite author? He gave that answer too. Then I asked him, can you tell me some of the books that the author has written? He gave that answer pretty well. My next question was, if you have read these books, can you talk about one or two key lessons that came out of that book? And even, the books that he was citing, I had read them multiple times. One of them was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. Now, when I asked that question to him, he started stammering. He started, floundering for answers. And then in the next 5 minutes, I got to know that reading is not his favorite pastime or hobby. Those answers were all mugged up answers. And that candidate was rejected. Let me tell you that I really liked his skill sets. I really liked how he was answering, very confident. He was coming across as a very confident, very articulative candidate. And I liked him for the overall packaging. But this one mistake put a doubt in my mind, and he was rejected. Let's explore a little more this case study to understand what went wrong here. Well, I'll talk about two things here. Number one, in my experience, I've seen so many people, so many freshers and experienced candidates. To answer this question, what is your favorite hobby or favorite pastime or the interest, they just prepare it for the heck of it. Many times I've seen that reading is most commonly cited and written in the CVs, but it's not. I have seen, candidates who have not read even a single book, but they write, reading is my habit. And then to divert, to try to give an answer for the heck of it, they say, not the books, but I like to read on the net, I read articles. When I have digged further deeper in that habit, I have seen that those were all fabricated stuff. There was no truth in it. They were all caught. But that's one of my experience. So what I want to tell you here is that don't do that. If reading is not your hobby, please don't mention it. If playing guitar is not your hobby, don't do that. If music is not your hobby, don't write that. If you don't have any hobby, please keep it blank. Don't make it up. Now, the second point that I want to mention here with all of you is that it might appear to be a very simple point that, oh, reading was the one hobby. Even though the guy was extremely, talented and he was the right fit for the role, he was rejected only for the reading hobby issues. Let me tell you that it points towards a bigger problem. It points towards a lie or a fabrication, or more commonly called as an integrity issue, which nobody compromises. So for me as an interviewer, this reading habit, is not just a reading habit, or any small thing or big thing that you put in your CV is not just a small or big thing. If it is fabricated, it points towards the integrity issue. It points towards the character of the candidate. If the candidate has lied on the CV, the candidate will lie in future too, right? And that's the point that I want to mention. Now, there are 3 lessons that are coming out of this whole case study. And that's what I'm going to share with all of you. Number 1, please familiarize yourself with your CV. If you're not familiar with your own CV, it may derail your interview and may cost the job that you may be at the brink of getting. Number 2, please remove all the unwanted stuff from your CV. If there is stuff which is dated and you're not confident of, please don't mention it. Please remove it. I have seen a lot of people mentioning everything about their details, even their summer trainings and all those stuff, which they're not very confident of. I'll give you one example here. There was this guy who had done a summer training 12 years back in one of the big pharma companies. And it was a 2-month training program where he had done a project on one of the key launches, right? I asked him a few questions from that summer training, his project, and he had no clue about it. And the reason, what I figured out, is that one, either that was fabricated or it was too dated and he couldn't recall much out of it. So please remove all the unwanted stuff or all the stuff that you're not confident of in your CV. It will be helpful. And number 3, please ensure that you review your CV on a regular basis. My suggestion to all the candidates have been that please review and update your CV once in a quarter at least. Now, before I close this video, I want to give you one more important suggestion. Let's say you are in a situation where you are already caught during the interview, and either it was an oversight or it was a mistake. Let's keep that point aside, but let's focus on the fact that you are caught in the interview and you're not able to articulate your answer properly for a specific project or a hobby mentioned in your CV. What you should do in this situation? My suggestion would be to apologize right away and to say sorry about it. Because if you start justifying your mistakes, let me tell you that the panel or the interviewers are very smart people. They will not really spare you if you start lying. And plus, keep in mind that this whole recruitment process, the base of it is rejection, because they want to hire the best candidate. A smallest mistake will become the source of your rejection. So when you're caught, just accept the mistake and gracefully apologize. That's the way you can come out of that situation as quickly as possible. If you keep on lying, then you will get dragged into a zone from where you will never be able to come out. And it'll be a very embarrassing situation at the end. So that's this video is all about. I hope these lessons are resonating well with you. I hope you're learning out of these lessons. Do not hesitate to write to us in case if you have questions. This channel is dedicated to all of you. We are dedicated to help you prepare for the interviews. Thank you so much, guys. If you're new to this channel, please do like, subscribe and share. Acharya. Take care. Bye-bye.